Welcome back, episode 4. Thanks for checking us out here. Summing up with the Sumners, Damon,
Katoya,
Sumner. We're excited. This is episode 4. Today we're talking about conflict.
Whew.
Yeah, this is good. Now, if you're just not checking us out, listen, we want to bring you into the dining room table. Have some talks, talk about relationships, marriage, parenting, love, life, all of that, everything in the middle. Because if we're recording this now in the middle of a pandemic, and we need somebody to talk to, so we get a chance to talk and chop it up with y'all. So we're excited to hear. But conflict is what we're talking about today, because everybody deals with conflict.
Everybody and their mama and their best friend and their cousin and their employer and their coworker, literally it exists. And I guess the thing is like, why does it exist? And then does it exist for people you love? Does it exist for people you don't like? And ultimately, since we are talking about relationships, it's with somebody you care about, right? So that's kind of what we're focusing on today, conflict.
I think one of the biggest things is that conflict is not a bad thing. I know growing up for myself, I thought conflict was bad. It should never be around. It was something you want to avoid. Now, I think there's definitely something about conflict, like unnecessary conflict. Like we're just gonna have some arguments or spats about anything that's just silly, dumb stuff. I think we can all relate. We'll get into a little bit about just silly fights, dumb arguments. But conflict is like healthy conflict. I think is something that's really important to understand. Like conflict can lead to solutions. Conflict can lead to problem solving. Like there is a place for healthy conflict.
Right, and I think like even a conflict as a whole, like when you overcome that conflict, having conflict and choosing to resolve it shows, like, to me, value that you have, stock that you have in the relationship. Is like, all right, this is worth saving. Because if not, conflict can easily go downhill and be like, nope, trash that, canceled, not in this relationship anymore, don't want to be here. Now that's for, anybody, but, being in a marriage and the dynamic with me and David, I can't really cancel him. I can't really say he's trash. I mean, whatever, so I could be really upset. But having to go back to the drawing board and choose to resolve the conflict.
Yeah, I'm not, if I don't want to deal with you, if we're not really close, or if I don't value this friendship, if we have conflict, it's a wrap. Like, it's not, and not even in the sense of like, I don't want to handle this, but like, if there's a weight to the relationship, if I don't feel like there's much value, or I feel like it's reciprocated there, like, I'm not gonna go back and forth tit for tat with you, dog. I'm not gonna argue in these Twitter feeds. I'm not gonna get on these Facebook comments. I'll watch it, eat my popcorn, but I'm not gonna go back and forth with you.
Michael Jackson meme. That's good though, because I do like the idea that conflict doesn't always just have to be face to face or on the phone. I mean, behind the screen conflict is like people are so embodied and bold because of behind the screen conflict. So
I don't even know if that's really conflict.
That's just like, I just want to say what I want to say, and then I ain't even really got to listen if you say it back. Lame.
I think conflict has to have, I'm just making this up right now, but I feel like conflict has to have some type of bare bone relationship. Otherwise, it's just like,
who cares?
Yeah,
you can really dismiss that.
Yeah, like it's like I'm not worried about what you have to say. I'm really out. Like,
right, that's true. That's true. I'll take that one.
But when you talk about a relationship, us being together for 15 years, married for 12 years, you have conflict, and I think one of the reasons why, which is always important, you always got to talk about why. Why is important? That's one of the most important questions from school days. Why?
Yeah.
Why is there so much conflict? And I think for us, we have highs and lows where we just kind of on the ball, right? Where things are good, things are blissful, and then you be like, whoo, 3-4 days, 3-4 weeks, 4-5 months. You're like, ugh. It's been tough. It's been a tough run here. I mean, shucks, what is this? 2020. We opening up to y'all. We already gonna just go ahead and just open up. What was it? Beginning of 2020, right? We just kind of came in a year a little not great. Right? Remember that conversation?
Yeah, it's the goals convo.
It was the goals convo, and it just kind of kept going.
Yeah.
And it was just where things just seemed like they would just get on our nerves easily.
Missing each other. Right?
Yeah, and just like
this ain't working. Why we keep having tension? And I think that's good. Like, conflict exists in layers, right? Like, I mean, Damon and I are nobody's psychologist to really break down the scientific ways of conflict, but like in general, there's just tension and you can feel that it's off. I'll tell you this is our second time attempting this podcast on conflict. learners, technical difficulties, and I promise you, every single time we start, it already feels like we're coming off of tension, and I'm like, why is there tension? We can't go into a podcast talking about conflict and there is tension, but that's like low level, right? Like that's transitional. You can like take a deep breath and walk outside and be okay. Like you just know that, there's something pulling one way or the other, but you don't really. It's not really like I'm upset, right? It's just like, ugh. Yeah. I'm a tinge frustrated.
Yeah. No, there are levels. There's definitely levels. I think there's another level where you're talking about, right? You've got that level that's kind of, you can shake that off. Yeah. Like in just a few minutes. And then you've got kind of this middle level where it's like, all right, we're going to need to have a conversation about this. Like something happened. Somebody said something out of pocket. Yeah. I said something. You did something. Whatever the case, we missed each other. And sooner or later, we're going to have to talk about it.
Ooh, and that's the bad part, too, sometimes. When you know that you got to talk about it, and it's just like a big situation. Or if you've been down that road multiple times, and you're like, we find ourselves here again.
Ooh, that's an episode by itself.
It's the worst. Because it's not always resolved in one meeting or one discussion or so on and so forth. And it's not, or the age-old, as we go get into Shaker Dweller, but like the concept of, it's always me coming back to the table to bring it back up, So things like that, like that is dreaded because it's a repeat offender, if you will. But that's just what it takes when you're in a relationship. And you're like, we have to have some type of dynamic where we're able to come and bring up problems. But, bringing up problems brings me to thinking about when to do it. Now, this is good.
Okay.
This is one of my favorites.
Let's get into how to handle. Let's
it's
talk
one
about.
Of my favorites.
They're like, we feel you on that. Hit them one.
So one of my favorites is, I think everyone has to have their moment to bring up their concern.
Break it down for them.
Okay.
Break it down.
Just your concern. So, Katoya, myself, me, I am vocal processor. I'm not really, afraid of conflict. I do not like having it. Sometimes I'm like, I know how this might go or whatever, but ultimately I'm okay with it. And so I'll speak up a lot more. Damon is probably, let me see, I'm going to do it. Is probably a little less confrontational, so he is a little less likely to bring certain things up as quickly and immediate as myself.
Right on.
Right, but that didn't mean that something was not frustrating or bothering him.
It don't mean that.
But he didn't say it, right?
I ain't say that at all. I kept it pushing.
If I come to the table with my complaint and I'm
scenario?
Like, I don't have a real one, you can think of one. I know my mind don't work like yours.
Got 20 out in the chamber right here.
Oh gosh, pick a topic and I'll throw out an idea. I just need like a starter. But like, if I'm like, I really want to talk about. Man, it's gonna take too long for me to think of one.
My goodness.
But what you got? Give me one.
Just like conflicts, have a conflict.
Yeah, give me a conflict first. I brought up because I know I brought it up.
Intentionality. Back in the day, compliments was a big thing.
Okay, let's do intentionality.
Right.
That's deep though.
No, I mean, I actually took it to the bedroom. But
the bedroom is intentionality.
That's a different episode too. You're
like, how's intentionality in the bedroom? Well, we'll tell you about that. It's more of initiation is really it. But, so the thing about it is like, if I say, well, hey, I want to talk to you about like...
a chore.
I've asked you to put out this light bulb. I have no idea. Do this front porch.
Right. Boom.
And they was like, well, and I'm like, I've asked you to do this front porch light. Please put that up. I know I've had to say this to you before, but then in the same conversation, Damon wants to go, but I've been asking you to put your clothes up.
Ooh, we got real. Put them clothes up, boo.
But that's not fair because, in my opinion, because that is not his time to bring up his problem. This was my time to bring up my problem. So overstepping the complaint chain is really really important to me.
So to be clear, you're saying that something that you think is helpful in general, a good practice
Yeah.
potentially, right?
Yes.
Every couple's different, but a good practice potentially is that timing plays a part when one person brings, for lack of better words, an offense, right, or frustration, right, and let's deal with that one frustration at a time, right? All right, boom, light bulb, handle it, share our viewpoint, get to a place where we feel good about it, and then maybe a beat or two, a moment or two, then we can run it back and talk about these clothes.
A beat or two, a moment or two, another day, another
Sure,
week.
right,
Let's
whatever
just be
case
clear.
may be.
It ain't like,
But
all right, you done? And then I'm tag, I'm in. That's not what I'm saying.
And,
by any means.
Oh no, because then now we're just going tit for tat, and nobody, if we're honest, is really listening.
And you're not gonna get anywhere.
And
not
so
one place.
We just went back in circles. The light bulb ain't got done. The clothes are still on the floor or wherever they are.
And a hamper.
And we're frustrated. And so I think that's valid. I think that's something that, and when we're talking about how to handle conflict, and these are just some things that have worked for us to a degree over time. You know, right? Take some notes if you want to take notes. If you're driving, if you're ironing clothes, whatever you're doing here. This is something where we try to walk in this understanding, all right, boom. This is something where she's like, okay, I'm not going to bring up something. Because let me pause and say this. Usually for myself, and I speak for myself, won't speak for you because she doesn't really do that too for her.
Yeah, I did that too.
If I do try to bring something else up, it's primarily because I have been hit in honesty with truth, and now I want to be defensive.
Ooh.
And now,
I
am. We out here in these streets. Just sum it up. We out here. You listen to this?
I mean, if you don't see the visual of this, my mouth open.
Listen,
wow.
I've said that before.
Oh, somebody bring that back. It's recorded. Yes.
Listen. So it's usually trying to just defend. So now I've already stopped listening. I've already tried to stop understanding, but now it's primarily on all right, well, cool. You hit me with the tit, I'm going to hit you for the tat, right? And now, again, just like we said, it's just fencing. It's just going back and forth.
Right.
So, now, I waited there, too, in a good mood, then I run those clothes back.
Or, I mean, that's fine. And it's fine because now by no matter what, no one is blameless, right? Like everybody can take some responsibility in whatever situation it is. When we did our pre-marriage counseling, shout out to the Hottie and Angie, one of the things that stuck with me the most was this concept of take 100% of the blame. Whew, that'll gut punch somebody, right? You're like, I'm not gonna take 100%, but if you take 100% of the blame of something, then that is going of within the situation, this scenario. You know what? You did tell me to do, replace that front porch light, and I could have done that. You know what? I know you've been busy, so I don't have to keep, hounding you about putting on the front porch light. I'm taking responsibility for maybe pressuring it, and he can take responsibility for, whatever, some type of way in that line.
Yeah.
I didn't have to hound you. I know what you've been doing.
Right.
You're right.
Right.
I could have put it as
I
a
was
high
lackadaisical
priority on
get
my
this done.
list.
This is a safety issue for our house. Blah, blah, blah.
I mean, that's
Take
the
the
perfect
ownership.
world. I'm saying it don't go that way often or all the time.
All the time.
It does happen.
Yeah.
Frequently.
Yeah.
And
we
that's
come a
how.
long way.
And that takes me to how to handle point 2. How to handle point 2 is timing, right? In the middle of your frustration, don't do that. In the middle of trying to pack all the kids out and get out the house, don't do that. A good time that it might be received well.
Yeah.
After sex ain't even a good one because you're in a high. So you just gotta be really careful.
Maybe somebody had a good meal.
Yeah, you're like, ooh,
chilling.
Yeah. You just you should know your best friend, your spouse, your boo, well enough to say, you know what, this is probably a good time I can bring that up.
Right.
For us being the joyful demeanor people we are,
Right.
it would be best received in a joking way.
Sure.
But in a way that still asserts it as it is still something I want to discuss. And those are for your lighter issues because like we said, there's tension, there's recycled issues, there's, there's levels to the conflict.
Yeah.
Without doubt.
Yeah.
So, but for those lighter areas, we can joke on and off about them, and I think we can, receive that just a little bit better in those moments. But timing is key.
Timing is key. Also, even just kind of the delivery about how you want to intro the conversation.
That's
right?
good.
Like if
That's
you're just
good.
coming in hot and heavy, that person already gonna put the walls up more than likely quickly anyway. So
That's true.
you know, hey boo, can we talk for a minute? When you have to find the right timing, right? But just like kind of setting the framework for that. If your goal is to really have resolution, if your goal is to get a problem solved. Now, if you're trying to come in and bust heads, then and be upset.
There are moments like that.
Sure. So you come in like, listen, I'm ready. Please, I'm ready today to argue. Let's do this.
I'm the one.
I'm not looking for resolution. I'm not looking for hugs after this. I'm ready to go in. And we all been there before. We human.
It is true.
But
it's true.
If you're ready to solve the problem, if you're ready to try to bring some resolution to this problem that's one time or consistently, then finding the right time, but also how to introduce that conversation is going to be helpful.
Right.
We got the mood set. Things are good. Chill. Boom. Hey, you got to remember quick, want to talk about something that happened the other day. Right? And just kind of boom.
That's a nice way.
Right?
I receive that. Wouldn't you?
Receive it and like a boom, and then you kind of got to go into it smoothly here, and then begin to work through that conversation.
Yeah. So I did say that makes it kind of hard. You know, coming up with like a fresh idea of a spat. I couldn't think of one, but when you said if you just want to come out, I'm not. I can be the fire everyone. The other day.
Being real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Episode 4. We real.
Yeah. The other day, we've been going. This is tough, y'all. Damien's a great guy. That's how you got to practice something when you know you're about to be like.
You already know. You already got to take a deep breath.
He's so great.
She is a great person.
But there are moments when I do feel like, all right, you are secretly mad. You know, like you are trying not to say something intentionally. Like you don't want, your pride is like literally blocking you from being honest. Not that he's like lying, but it's like, I'm just going to act like I don't really know, or I'm going to say it this way. So that was that phone call conversation. So literally I was like, hey, we're trying to use a specific card for groceries. And I was like, hey, did you,
we out here.
Did you use the card for groceries? And he's like, I didn't see the card. That's what he said first, right? And then I said, okay. Then we keep talking a little bit longer. And he says, well, let me look. Like I didn't look. It contradicted. And I was like, his first answer just didn't want to admit that this new system we're trying to implement with using a specific card, he didn't do it because we've been trying to implement this system for like 2 months.
There's so many layers to this conversation. We're gonna have time, but go ahead.
But that's kind of what happened, right?
Yeah.
That's my thought. I did just put you on the spot like that.
No, it's good.
But so then we're going back and forth because this conversation, I'm like, oh, I caught you. You said
So you
that
ready to
you
bust
looked.
heads.
So this what I did, and it's so wrong. I did a no. The ultimate no. Because not only is timing important and the way you say it, but you know stuff that push folks' buttons.
Everybody do. Everybody do.
We were in the middle of a conversation, and I hung up. Look, in 15 years, let me tell you, I know not to hang up the phone on Damon, and Damon knows not to do what to me?
Honk the horn.
Damon knows not to honk the horn at me. Those are like two do not do's
two
on
do
our
not-
list.
do
But
not.
I did it. And then, I don't know if my message sent, but before he walked in the house, I was trying to like preface it. I was like, just forget about whatever we was going to do tonight. I don't even want to do it.
I was already done. I was already like, we ain't doing nothing. I'm driving home with my day done. My day is empty. You understand what I'm saying? Empty. You hung up the phone? I'm out.
And he came in, Damon style, calm. He's always trying to be a winner in conflict because he's always calm. I'm not the calm one. I'm not the calm one. I mean, literally our arguments have been, just because you calm don't mean that you better. That don't mean nothing. Just because your volume don't raise, you know, I get so frustrated with that. But like, we we are two different people. But that was a day when I was ready to go in. So I was like, bring it.
You was ready.
I was ready. I was so ready. I was in that kitchen cooking, and I was like, come on, because I know you got something to say, because I know I did something you didn't like. You know, rarely do I intentionally do something, but literally the surrounding this topic, we've had multiple conversations about, and it wasn't the topic of using the same car. Do you have anything else to say on like?
I mean, there was a conversation that I felt tied into the conversation, which essentially was, we had a conversation originally a week or two ago about setting up the procedure to use the card and placing the card somewhere in the car. Boom. We had that conversation a few weeks ago. Let's say a week after that, you call, I call or something, and the car's not there. So the conversation to me was like, all right, like I think we said to the fact like, the card, she was like, hey, is the card there? The car's not there. I still got the card on me. So we haven't been really, and you said something to, I'm not going to say you said this verbatim, but something to the effect of, man, we haven't been consistent with the system, right? Now, she never said, we're not doing the system. She never said, all right, let's cut the system short, right? But based off what I said there. So to me, and this is here's one of the things about relationships that's challenging. I've said this before to you just in general. It was like, relationships on paper really shouldn't work. Don't let me forget my point about the car. Like in general, this is a tangent. Relationships on paper, it's like two people coming from two different parts of life and upbringing and socioeconomic backgrounds and religion and whatever, and then how you were raised and two different type of parenting styles coming together.
And the farther you're apart.
Yeah, and then age and music interest, and then y'all come together and like, oh yeah, this is gonna be smooth. Like on paper, it should not work. So I say all that to say, when I heard that conversation about the car not being consistent, I took it as, just in my thoughts, straight up honest, I took it as, all right, let's put this system on hold since we're not doing it consistently. Did I say that? Did I bring up the fact that there was fogginess on the conversation? No. But now moving forward, I had that fogginess in my head, and then that to me played a part in how that conversation played out.
And to me, that was like, no, you just didn't do the system again, right? That's what I said.
But the system was never done consistently.
The true way, don't be trying to give us comments on how to solve the system. We know, get two cards. I know, it's fine. I get it, but we ain't done that. So, you know, but to understand, I can understand that. I did not understand that in the argument. I was like, I didn't say change.
Nor did either one of us really want to understand much, too. Because when, and you said you came in being honest about Buzz head, well, like I said, just to be clear, I came in ready to knock knees when she hung up on me. Like, we both came for battle. That's it. We both came in for battle. And, 15 years in the game, we knew better, but it didn't matter that day.
It didn't matter.
And I think we reconciled that night.
Yeah,
so we wrapped up.
It's fine.
So,
but it was just like misunderstandings, and I think when you have conflict, not seeking to the worst intention of the other person, because and I mean that primarily in loving relationships, right? Because work relationships and people you don't really like, but for someone that you do care about and you are investing in that relationship with them, then conflict is great to have, and processing through that and thinking of the best intention that person could have had. And I did not have that for Damon on that scenario at all.
Yeah, I mean, conflict is just what's the end goal? Like, if you come in both with the end goal to win, then more than likely, in our opinion, I feel like you're gonna be alright. Like
to win?
No, I'm saying like to win as a couple, like to win.
I was like,
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Let me be clear. Like to come in to win as a team, to resolve the conflict, to end the problem.
Right.
Like look, we want to win. Yes.
But that also probably goes back to those other points of just saying, well, you also, how did you bring it up? When did you bring it up? Like setting it up. Like to set up conflict successfully so that it can be resolved in its best form. Because honestly, you know what that best form is.
Yeah, you know. If you've been together for a little bit of time and if you're fresh into this thing and you're in the bliss phase, you probably know you're an adult. Yes. Conflict is coming around the corner as well. Yeah. I'll be worried if it don't ever come.
Again, not having conflict is not a good thing. You have conflicts with relationships that matter because we are human and we are people, and
Right.
it is going to happen. How you take care of that conflict, to me, in return shows how much you are invested in that relationship. So, and that doesn't just mean for today or that one round. That just means the the constant ways that it happens as different conflict or the same conflict continues to arise. How are you seeking to go about it? Yeah. And I think that throughout our time, those are some really good pointers on how we feel that it's really helped us in resolving conflict. Yeah.
So I wanna bring up this. We might, I ain't gonna tell y'all all my secrets. But we do have a few philosophies in general. I think every person has their own philosophies about things. But one thing,
a lot of philosophies.
well, would you have some agreements though in this philosophy we're gonna talk about?
Oh, this is a philosophy that the Sumners hold true.
Okay, so when we're talking about specifically conflict, there's really two types of people. And let me be clear: these are the extremes. And of course, like, oh well, another one of those fit me. Just understand what I'm saying. You slide.
Everyone fits somewhere.
You side
There's only
somewhere.
two categories.
Only two categories, right? So there's dwellers and there are shakers.
And he could have said there are dwellers and there are shakers. Put the right fist in front of both of them.
Dwellers and shakers. And when we're talking about conflict, a dweller. I am a dweller. A dweller is conflict has happened and they don't want to resolve it immediately. They want to sit. They want to fume. They want to think. They want to dwell on it. You ready to talk about it? No. I'm going to think back. Actually, I'm going to remind myself of everything we said. Ooh, let me think about what she said. Oh, that was a good point. Oh, yeah. Oh, I should have said that. That's okay. You ready to talk about it? Not yet. I'm still dwelling. I'm still angry. It's dinner time. I don't care. I'm not going to eat. I'm a fast tonight. I'm done. I'm dwelling. You understand? That's a dweller, right? That's a dweller. Now, a shaker is Katoya.
Shakers. You had it. You said what you needed to say. You either resolved it or didn't, and you're going to move forward because there's still hours in the day to be together with this person. I do not want to sit next to anyone and still be in unreconciled conflict with them. I will leave you. We either going to work it through and it come to some type of resolution practically immediately, or we need to separate. And I do not want to talk to you until you're ready to talk. And I'm quick to reconcile, even if I brought it up.
Yeah.
Even if it's on me, it don't matter. I don't like to sit in the contention or the awkwardness. Like, I want to sit next to you and ha he he and have a good time. I don't want to sit here and just be like, oh, you still mad? Yeah. Like that. I just got other stuff I want to do because I could literally pause that and like go play with the kids.
Oh, you
go
have?
Watch my movie.
Numerous times.
I used to intentionally get on the phone with other people.
Oh.
All right, you don't want to talk to me?
Uh-huh.
Mama.
And I'm over here, oh, she gonna talk to her mama? You know what, I'm not even gonna say hey to her mama. I'm still a dweller. I'm done. I don't even know her mama name.
Oh, that's funny. I ain't saying nothing. My mama said, hey. Rude. So that's hard. I mean, of course, it's like a left and a right wing or whatever, but it's like you side on a little bit more than others. So I'm gonna give you 5-second pause. If you ain't decided.
Think about it.
Who are you? I want you to say it on 5 to yourself, in your car, in your house, in your shower, wherever you're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Just say it. Just own it.
Are you a dweller or are you a shaker? And this is why, because we gotta get out of here. This is why it's have been very helpful. We're talking about walking and understanding of two different people, right? So, and this is, this philosophy came years ago, right? We kind of we kept butting, like, what's going on? It was like, this is how we do conflict differently. And so now I had to understand, I can't sit for 4 hours, right, and waste a day.
The next day.
Because I was going to impact us, but specifically I want to love her well, right? So I know I have to speed that up, and then on the reverse side, right? She knew that she
give a little bit of
a little more time than she would have desired, but that's in a loving way of bringing that, and so that has helped us over the years so many times to understand that, so that we can walk in love and walk in some understanding, so that we can, again, if we both want to win as a team, to end this conflict. You know what I'm saying? So that's it.
Agree.
Dwellers and shakers. It's one of the few I really. We're gonna hit y'all with a few more philosophies that we.
And of course, I've gained more philosophy, like believing a lot in enneagrams, but just as a general, something that we started with and realized the difference of that is a tried and true.
We gotta trademark that. We gotta do that. Somebody.
But yeah, Wellers and shakers.
But conflict is something that I think that is important. I think it can be done with health, right? Healthy conflict. But you got to have the right purpose behind trying to have that resolution and conflict. The timing, the understanding, the communication, how you're gonna start it. And even specifically, not just timing when you had a conversation, but making sure you really kind of only focus on one, like you said, one issue kind of at the time.
Yeah.
Don't put too much in there.
No, can't lay too much in it. It's like it's not too many instructions, not too many, because then you look like you just pointing a finger.
Facts.
So
Big
you want
facts.
to be safe for that.
This was good. This was another good one here.
It was good, and it actually brought us out of the tension that we felt before we started.
We were.
Thanks for coming into the dining room table with us and summing it up with the Sumners. Make sure that you rate, you review.
Please rate and review.
Yeah, and if it's like not that good of a review, just send us a message.
Yeah, you just DM that. We only want the 5-star reviews.
You know,
public.
That's true, but don't let it hinder you because we love to hear what you have to say.
Definitely.
So please rate and review. Follow us on Instagram at Sumners_SumItUp.
Got it.
Yep.
Yeah,
and check out, if you're not video watching us, check us out on YouTube at.
Is there another way to video watch besides?
We could be on Instagram TV.
Video watch though. That's what you said. You said video watch.
Okay, I'm sorry, my terms aren't great. Just get on YouTube and look us up.
Sum it up with the Sumners podcast. Look us up there for our YouTube channel as well. But man, we appreciate y'all so much. This has been fun. We're excited to keep talking and hanging and growing with you guys. Damon.
Katoya.
Hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Summing up with the Sumners. Talk soon.
Bye.